短めにしてる世界それって本当かい今正しい答え誰が決める女神が弾いたコイン何かが変わるサインゴールまでの長い距離に一歩踏み出す時だろう運命なんてよ決めちゃいないひらめきを信じなくちゃやるならガンガン攻めようぜ逃げてちゃ将来だって後悔前を向いて汗をかいてほらその涙にシャウト逆転しようぜジャスティス絶対絶命もチャンスどんな愛もどんな夢も取りに行こうきっと勝ちに行こう
Phoenix Wright, justice for all. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way. Not cool. Not the collected Adrian Andrews.
She's hot. She's your manager. I would be easier for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her.
So after the ceremony? During the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time.
See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button on your Hakama.
Because she was the one that came to wake me up. Dude, you're saying it was really for her?
Yes, she's the real killer. She's the one who murdered one corridor.
Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan.
She had her own agenda.
Her own agenda? What are you talking about?
I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today.
Get me a verdict that's as refreshing as the spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. You think your motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right?
Yeah. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact for her strength and will to live. She tried to kill herself. Then Miss Impact suddenly learned how to fly. It's not like she had left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it.
Oh my god. Is Juan Carita the victim of this murder?
And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corridor. All to get the suicide note back.
Sounds plausible. One thing bothers me.
What?
Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Mr. Andrews' codependency. Mr. Andrews.
Oh, that's a interesting typo.
Yeah, that's a typo. Whoopsies. It was Edgeworth. Oh no! Edgeworth already knows about this.
We're playing right into his hands!
Looks like he's still in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Alright.
He shot his own sister so he could come into court and absolutely style on us. That's hilarious.
Apparently that last trial just was 4 hours long.
Court will now reconvene. Now, Mr. Edward Platt.
Prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who has discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. Oh, she's got that stupid card.
Hell yeah.
What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
I see. Now
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one simple request.
yeah, sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
Well, was a fry and bait matter? Or was it a bait and fry? That's bait fishing.
But I didn't kill him. No one accuses you of that. I am actually. I've got a feeling someone will soon.
I already have. That's my point. That's why she's here. I will understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Very well, then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered that murder that had taken place. When I found the body.
Hell yeah.
Skip. Stop
I hate
talking.
You. I don't want to listen to you. I don't like you.
Oh my
I don't
God.
Like you at all.
And this is
Kinda
what
hot, though.
I sketched this picture during my lunch break.
Kind of hot, though. I'm gonna lie.
Isn't it good?
So you're telling me you're trying to fabricate a photo.
Poured yourself a glass of juice.
Yes, sadly, I don't remember to. Didn't remember to not touch things at the scene of a crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
I see.
Phoenix, the judge, he's having a stroke.
How about
Oh no, it looks like I'm having it. Wait, I'm already dead. Pearl's having a stroke. We are many.
We are many. We are having a stroke. Disrupt her pace.
She's the type of woman who will easily be thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack her when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand?
Fucking sure, I guess. I suppose so. I suppose.
That's not what she says. So, she says,
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, I went to go get Matt in his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. Oh.
Yeah, I bet you were. Hold it!
You're telling me you're scared of a dead body?
You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
You've seen a dead body before. Remember, you tried to kill yourself. Despite how close they were, I doubt you had romantic feelings for Mr. Corridor.
Anyone who randomly stumbles on a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect such a young beauty like her to not be shocked.
Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see.
Yep, so next we need to press her on. I felt as though I was about to faint. Yeah, tell me about that. You poured yourself a glass of wine?
Juice?
Yeah, juice, that's right. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
You didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There was no lip marks left in the glass to suggest that anyone drank from it.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of one corridor, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind was really completely blank at the time.
Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today? I was dazed that I made one careless mistake, that one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind. It's no big deal.
What was she starting to say just
Press further, press further, press further!
Whore!
What?
I'm convinced that you, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's just, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Oh, she's wearing bell bottoms. We never see the bottom half of her Sprite, so.
Hell yeah. Flower vase? Are you taking the one in the photo?
Dumbass.
This mess of glass shards?
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. And that's why it was wet.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of evidence? I'm sorry, I thought since the crime was already in disarray, that people would simply just assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
Looks like yet another fact has come to light here.
I'm ready to make my decision. Okay.
To reveal to your testimony.
Adrian Andrews, you're guilty.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else.
Huh. Add that to your testimony, bitch.
I was the one to knock the flower vase over when it fell into the guitar case. Oh,
Huh.
no!
It's interesting because the inside of the guitar case
Was
bone
dry.
That's curious.
Only wet on the lid.
Objection! You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct?
Yes.
And you were sure it fell onto the guitar case.
Is there something wrong?
It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
Uh-oh.
That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. What is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo.
What? What about it? It's just a regular...
The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. What's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shard should be inside, not outside the case.
Objection! What's your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time when the vase was knocked over? Is that all?
Objection! No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case.
Objection! But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. That red guitar was at the studio. It had no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, an empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case. It seems that there's no deeper meaning for the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Absolutely.
Make her testify.
The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But
Getting sleepy, Edgeworth?
But it is.
Is it nap time for the baby boy?
Ow.
Is it nap time for my little baby boy?
No.
Is my little baby boy going to take a nappy wappy in my arms?
No.
I can't believe I'm doing this either.
Does the finger thing.
All right, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. You know, testimony. It was a bit dazed. Open the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal, though, right? The case was empty after all. That's why I opened the case. Even I don't know.
That's stupid.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point.
This wakefulness is just a familiar feeling by now. It's almost comforting.
Anyways, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. That's mean.
Objection! You made fun of me. A bit dazed? No, I'm the only one that can gaslight you.
I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. But there were no fingerprints.
There's only his fingerprints on it.
Why would you open it? It's empty.
Objection! There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case.
Why would you say that?
It's elementary, my dear. God, I'm such a Redditor sometimes. Anyways, because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim.
Oh.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
I'm shitsing. You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints on it because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Oh,
The fucking wine glass?
Like the fucking.
So you touched the glass and then put the gloves back on?
Why were you wearing gloves at the time?
It was night of award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
Fuck no! You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange?
Why? Do you have something that would prove I wasn't?
Duh!
This again!
Take that! I have your proof right here, this wine glass.
The wine glass?
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Oh.
Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange?
To put them back on.
That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case.
Uh-oh.
Oh, her glasses broke. She was hotter for a second there.
Order, order, order.
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
I'd like to hit you. What do you mean?
I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here.
It's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though.
But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio.
Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in that guitar case? What was in that guitar case was not the bright red guitar.
You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. God, I'm so stupid sometimes.
Well, I admit it was unnatural for someone to do that, so the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case...
Objection! Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and then lull us all into his misguided...
Objection! I was drinking. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means the case was closed when the crime took place.
Oh.
However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure that this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
Objection! If you're so sure, right? And I'm sure you somehow can substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us to why the guitar case has anything to do with this murder.
Duh! Dude, that was right.
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
Bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was...
Objection! Your Honor, you fucking dumbass. So you intend to push your
Sorry.
theory of the case that it was not empty. Is that it, right?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet.
I'll show you, head.
Let's see. What was it? Yeah, what he said. What was in it, Brandon? What was in the case?
What was in the case at the time of the murder? So, he was murdered. It was around... I mean, I don't think it would have been the knife. Well, he wasn't killed with the knife.
The knife was in his chest when
He
we
was
found him.
strangled. What was in it?
You've got no idea?
Not really, no. Maybe, it was a radio transponder. Maybe?
What if I
No.
told you it was the Nickel Samurai?
So they had the costume in there, and she put it on
They're
afterwards?
two fucking costumes.
This is a photograph. Well, of course there were two costumes. She was wearing one, and he was wearing one, so there had to be two costumes.
Yep.
In this picture...
It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What am I Oh, yeah, because, well, I think Corridor was planning on framing him for something, which is why he had to get Shelly to kill him. And so he brought the costume with him to frame him for something, and he's the one that's been setting him up for murder, but he wasn't setting him up for his own murder. It just so happened that all the evidence was going towards him that way.
Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to be something doing like that?
I just fucking explained the entire case. The insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous ideal?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo?
Uh-huh. The very same.
Order, order! It looks like we've just wandered into a Mexican, have we?
Nice job, Phoenix.
You know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Objection! Wait a second, Your Honor. This nickel samurai costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? Inside the guitar case of all places.
True, that's a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
You absolutely should pick stolen from on guard, but it's not.
It's not?
It's a spare costume.
Stupid. Mr. Ungard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about was a spare one.
Oh no, it's stolen from on
Yeah,
guard.
because it's like his cost. Okay, no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. What?
Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, and that is what I'm saying.
How do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself planned to bring this spare to the ceremony.
So he was the one that was going to go and admit at the thing that he made his secretary commit suicide.
He had the suicide note. Yeah, it was gonna be like.
Why? The victim, Miss Corridor, was the Jammin' Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he secretly bring the nickel samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
So that's what he intended.
Objection! What? Have you just been rambling this whole time without any sense of inner monologue?
No, I just.
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the nickel samurai spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you.
All right, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the nickel samurai spare costume to the hotel was.
Why did he do it?
It was the. Do we present the ticket there? Because it's the thing?
It's a press conference ticket. Yeah.
Because he was going to do the press conference as him. Take that!
Bingo.
What is this?
On the night of the murder after the stage show, the nickel samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
Press conference?
Yes, the nickel samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something upright. Haha, upright.
But what struck me as strange is that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea what he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. One Corridor himself.
One corridor. The victim.
Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very chance. Mr. Corridor was going to hold the press conference as the nickel samurai.
He was going to dress up as a nickel samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference.
The nickel samurai was going to confess something. By confess, I'd wager to say he was going to reveal something about himself.
Which means that One Corridor, posing as the nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt on Guard.
It's one corridor, but yeah, sure.
If that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure.
Miss Andrews?
I can see why you're pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. You knew the whole time!
Oh my gosh.
Miss Andrews, please offer an explanation for that.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You
bitch! Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. If he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career if it had been revealed.
What? That's right, you tried to kill yourself.
Uh-oh.
And do you know what the secret of Matt on Guards is, Mr. Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
I see.
probably come off as a bit suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all.
Protect Mr. On Guard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth in your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Bird testimony. This is strange.
Odd.
From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife, but I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. What does that mean?
It does account for everything.
What does that mean, I had to protect him?
It's odd.
We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
There are no objections. I feel I can pass a verdict based on this testimony. Now then, Mr. Wright, if you please.
It's like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this internal logic upside down. What was she protecting him from? She didn't know what the secret was.
Well, there's a big honking contradiction here. Had to kill him no matter what. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. He did, though. He was sleeping.
I thought it was confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife.
Interesting. The button and the knife, you
Hold
say.
it. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then what about the button?
The button?
Clear from the crime scene that the victim and the murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped off the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
I'm talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's shit. I would think it makes very decisive evidence.
Eric. Looks like you were out foxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness me, you can still look at me.
With an icy stare, yes.
What are you pissed off for, Mia?
Add
What did I do to you?
information to the testimony.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add just information to your testimony.
That button was torn off Juan during his fight with Matt.
How do you know that?
Oh, there was a big honking problem with it, though. 'Cause if we look at Juan's autopsy report, strangled to death.
He was behind him.
Yeah. Not just that, but also, there was no struggle. He was strangled to death.
Objection! This is the victim's autopsy report.
Uh-oh. This is not... Oh, oopsies. The controller did a thingy.
Clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf.
Oi, please. Please, could you do that?
Not happy.
It's
not happy.
hold on, I got it. You just gotta...
You got it? You got a little bit. Oh. He's coming back to us.
Or I accidentally hit the power button.
That'd be hilarious.
We would lose all of today's footage.
That would be so funny.
Strangulation.
The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
You know what? I just had a crazy idea. Let's
That is a crazy idea.
I'm gonna check this while we're at it. Yeah, it's okay. We're good.
That is a crazy idea.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which means that it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife stabbed the victim.
Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle.
Did you not see the speed of that text? It was the victim's struggle.
Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight.
Nah.
That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle.
This was ripped off after the kerfuffle.
The button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body.
And placed on someone to frame them. Objection! What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve?
What purpose?
We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight. The murder took place in the effort to purposely rip it off of the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? What was it?
He wanted to plan it on guard.
Pin the crime on guard. He wanted a memento of the crime.
There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone could put a bloodified button in their own pants.
Bloodified.
That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
You got a thigh gap, though.
She's bad. I ain't even about to lie none.
Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Yeah, I call her Mommy. I'm not lying nor trying to deny it. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point.
Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end.
The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is...
Celeste Impact!
Yes!
From the grave.
Take that!
Too bad a dead person can't kill someone.
Wouldn't it be the first time a dead person killed someone? Miss Adrian Andrews.
It would be the first
I
time.
choose you. You are Mr. Corridor's killer. Eeny miny, idiot.
Our glass exploded.
Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence to support your charge?
Any evidence? What the fuck have we been talking about? All the evidence points to Miss Andrews.
How preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I? Do you care to test me?
Then what about this knife?
The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room, and that's the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you.
Oh, that's one. What about the button that was found in Master Hakama?
This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama.
Yep, that's two.
2 less pairs of glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume.
It
for
couldn't
the
have been
victim.
Juan. He was already dead. She is literally the only person who could have known about it.
And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews.
No, objection! But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were found nowhere on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. To avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it.
Or, you know, the glove of the costume.
But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body.
Ah!
And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if that was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
Please stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got you now, you fucking moron, bitch.
Miss Andrews.
I refuse to testify.
What was that? What was that? Huh?
There's a law. I can't be forced to testify about something if I can incriminate myself. Oh, she's pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Whoa,
Why are you pleading the fifth?
yeah.
Why are you pleading the fifth?
You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination, allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. Yeah, pleading the fifth is not something most people would think about to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room.
Oh.
Adrian Andrews,
Yes?
think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
All right. Yeah, so she was told to plead the fifth if all else fails.
That's it. That's when Francisca Karma planted the idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things look bad.
You did a good job proving everything to this point, Phoenix. There's still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done?
What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Why not have evidence?
What's the humor, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything good lawyer has proven up to this point is meaningless.
It's fuck, dude. Oh my gosh. Where's Maya when I need her? She's the only person I can deal with.
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Versus
Versus Matt on guard is circumstantial.
fucking Matt on guard. His case is airtight. Circumcisional.
Yes, circumcisional. You've yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to kill What about the photo? That's not circumstantial.
She had her fingerprints on the scene of the crime. She's the only other person. Who knew about
I mean,
that.
the photo. The
She
photo
opened
is not
that.
circumstantial. That
Who
is.
opened the guitar
That's
case?
eyewitness testimony right
Yeah,
there.
that objectively happened.
Yikes. Big yikes. Well, I guess it is just as much Miss Andrews as it is Matt on guard. You can't tell who it is. It could be
He's short. He's short.
It could be some random
We
woman.
want to kill Miss Cordora.
I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from this answering.
But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence.
Holy shit! This entire place is a fucking shit show. Mia, what should we do?
Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation.
I don't think so. I don't think so whatsoever.
I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Ms. Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof.
The fucking picture. I hate you.
In this situation, there's only one thing the court can do. That is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense looks further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial...
Uh-oh.
So tomorrow... We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a guilty verdict today, then... Hold it! Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial.
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya...
What?
But it is impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
Objection!
Oh, shit. He's a good guy.
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of the conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that's very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think of how unnatural that is. Usually when someone finds a dead body, they're shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we might find, this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I don't know.
Hey, you rhymed. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please.
Andrews' final testimony. When I found the body. Skip. Glass. I didn't really pour it. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting, though, the thought was that he wasn't dead and didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. Dude, he had a knife in his chest.
He had a knife in him. You're stupid.
So I knocked the fire vase over.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left.
I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Nothing, Mr. Wright. You may be going on. Blah, 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 blah.
Last chance, when I found the body.
Oh, interesting.
That glass of juice.
Didn't
I didn't really pour it.
Hold
Excuse
up.
me?
But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right?
Of course not.
Then who did you pour it for?
Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen.
Bro, she really just hit us with the, it's called a movie. You watch it and information is revealed.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Ung.
I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in a messy state. Why?
Hold it. So it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Corridor?
Objection! I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence.
Grrr.
And then what did you see next, witness? And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner.
Hold it. Slumped over.
Yes, he was just sitting with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping.
Just me, or did that white sound there a little odd? Like the thought that he was dead and it crossed my mind. He had a knife in. Hold it. What did cross your mind?
Well, I thought he had maybe smashed up everything in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then he felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. But anyways, that's what I thought.
I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all.
To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice.
Hold it! You thought he fainted?
I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought he had maybe gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when he went to pour him a glass of juice. Yes, he had always had a hard time waking up. So Juan was, he always had a glass of tomato juice to drink.
I see. After that, what happened next?
When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over.
Hold it!
But why did you not think he was dead when he had a
And
knife
how did you
in
come
his
to realize
chest?
that he was, in fact, dead?
I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggering backwards and knocked the flower vase over. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to.
Huh?
This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix now's her best chance to kill the prosecution's case.
Isn't that a bit harsh? Mr. Sanders, will you tell us the truth this time?
Wait, what the fuck?
Oh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Didn't even cross my mind. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Objection!
You... What?
So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him?
No, not at all.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body?
Mans was oozing blood like a sponge.
She sees him beheaded. Oh, he's tired.
What is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corridor's chest.
Corridor.
Anyone who just saw this scene would have immediately thought that he was a dead man.
That's, you see,
God, you're fucking stupid. I don't think a single person in the world would mistake someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour him something to drink.
Your point is?
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie.
Ah!
What the... And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer.
No!
you got her.
God,
now, you
she's
fucking
crying.
moron,
Hell
bitch.
yeah, hell yeah. Got you now, you fucking moron, bitch.
I'm glad dropped a lot. But a friend that Miss Matt on guard is not guilty after
Yay!
We did it. That's the case.
But that's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
You were the one who refused to testify, and your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
Yep. Either you're guilty either you're guilty or you're guilty.
This
No
is a
other
fucking
options.
Awful place for you to be in right now.
I refuse to testify.
All right, fine.
Fucking sure, I
Got
guess.
him.
Then there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Manonguard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last?
What's wrong, Phoenix?
Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard.
Objection! Fuck you.
Damn it, Edgeworth!
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
Fucking sure, I guess.
The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth.
If you didn't testify, that's on her.
You picked a faulty witness, dude.
Absolute real truth, what are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through silence, Matt on guard will go free. And in his place, you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
God, you
I
have
was
2
told
IQ.
if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it?
I can't speak about it. I'm too scared.
It's Francisca von Karma. Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto other words of another because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself.
And right now, Miss Andrews is...
Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them.
Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is to get her not guilty. That's my only priority.
Uh-oh. His only priority is to get a not guilty verdict.
Oh.
That's kind of like what Edgeworth was doing.
That's kind of curious, isn't it?
It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please don't believe me.
Oh, please believe me.
Please don't believe me.
Objection!
Fucking got you now, you stupid moron, bitch.
I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone. Help me.
Mr. Wright.
Yeah, Your Honor. What's going on?
We're going to continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right. I suggest you think carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think who is the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? No one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Hot, right?
Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? So we requested not a guilty verdict. We're done. We get Maya, but an innocent woman goes to jail.
Okay, and I don't give a fuck.
Bad ending one.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care about her.
She needs to testify.
You have to win a complete acquittal today. No way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. I have to look at it more. It's too hot. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end?
Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me.
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
Such a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However,
You tried to kill yourself.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth!
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. You
Tried to kill yourself.
Edgeworth, you bitch. We should have did that. We should
That was
have.
our move.
That was our move. We were saving it to the end. Stop. Stop. No
Hey, you tried to kill yourself.
matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have evidence right here.
No.
She tried to kill herself.
I tried to kill myself. She tried to kill herself. You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of a pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her codependent nature. Everything will know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, oh.
That's too bad. If you're going to say you would choose death, it would be of no concern to me. Oh my
Edgeworth.
God.
Shit, man, you're cool.
However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Please help me.
God, I could manipulate her so good.
Nothing matters anymore. My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. I made sure that there was no one in the hallway. I made my dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She didn't kill him. She stabbed the dead body.
Body with the knife? Why would you do that?
It's obvious to pin the blame on a certain person. Certainly cowardly man.
What do you mean by all this?
Might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That's the scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
Oh, shit. We had it. And then she was like, yeah, I stabbed the dead body.
Yeah.
And you were just like, we got... Shit.
Fuck!
Oh, no. So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Kwan Kurita, in the chest with a
Mia
knife.
just kind of looks over to us, and we just kind of go, eto, di.
However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt. And this is her crime.
What's her disease? What's she sick with? What? How's that possible?
Dumb bitch syndrome.
I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and come. Blah, 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 blah.
My crime.
Fuck. Sorry, guys. My bad.
When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted on us. But the knife! You saw the
Hold it.
knife!
You could tell from the state of the room it was in that there must have been a fight. Telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead?
He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf was a part of his costume, so I didn't think anything was strange. Oh, the knife wasn't in his chest yet!
Yeah, because she stabbed him.
Oh, shit. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. But I thought I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formed my... Why? Why would you do this?
What is this plan you had?
I knew right away the murderer was Matt. Maybe because one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. Matt did this to stop him, silence him for good. But I thought, I should forge some evidence, pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. First thing that came to my mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. Why? Why? No, but
That was so you could get the knife, correct?
the knife used at the dinner had his fingerprints all over it. Thought if I used that, then the police would certainly have turned my eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button.
Hold it.
Oh, this ain't looking good, Chief.
So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife.
Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did, but at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It just moved on its own. Then when I stabbed Juan's body, I realized something. If I used a button somehow, I can make it look like Matt. I can make Matt look even more like a suspect. So then you ripped one of the buttons off and then planted it in Mr. Unguard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why... Oh, whoopsies. What was your inconvenience?
Hold it.
What was your inconvenience?
An inconvenience?
There was a woman with a camera at the ready loitering in the hallway.
I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta.
There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready pacing back and forth.
That's Miss Oldbag for you.
I had already been caught and made a big scoop for a certain weed tabloid once, so I couldn't well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nicholas Samurai costume.
Weren't they out there the first time you left? Hold it. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you?
Yeah, I took it from Global Studios. I put it in his guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yeah, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
What is a secret?
But I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nicholas Samurai costume, then people would think Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the case. Absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. Onguard's room and planted the button.
Into Matt's Hakama, yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it in the bag. I snuck out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word. What does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it the real criminal? Is Matt on guard? Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk.
Diska, huh?
She said I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. If I just kept quiet, then Matt would have been found guilty for sure. I had no choice to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still...
Objection! Right.
Yeah, it was Poppy B.
It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer.
Like, actually, though.
Congratulations, this witness is over, and so is today's trial. We couldn't establish the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But...
Mr. Oh, yeah. Understand, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for detention immediately.
That's all. Court is adjourned for today.
Uh-oh.
Gone.
Shit. Maya's dead. We killed her. Today's trial, it's over. I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth?
What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. Card in your hand. Had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember it at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day.
The room?
That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered one's body. It was lying there, right next to him.
You found that card next to the victim's body?
I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to his murder, right?
Ooh. Yeah, I guess not. Strange card. As far as a clue to this case, I don't see why...
Hold it! Witness! That card! Give it to me, hurry!
Edgy Poo?
Do you have any idea of your what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This. I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen such an
emotional Edgeworth in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Card. What in the world is it? What does it mean?
Next episode of Justice for All.
No freaking way.
Maya's just fucking dead. She's just
She's
dead.
dead. She
She's
got executed.
100% been
Executed at point blank range. She's dead. She's gone.
100%. We'll see you then.
Bye.